I don't need therapy.
Hello.
Obviously, rock climbing is not a replacement for mental health treatment. I do recommend that anybody and everybody seek therapy. I definitely don't think that any sport or anything can be a replacement for actual therapy, whether that's talk therapy or EMDR. Having said all that, I've been totally blown away by how much rock climbing has impacted my mental health in a positive way. I can tell when I've taken like a week off of climbing, I can feel that I'm like a little more anxious than normal. I wanted to share a little bit about my journey and how I got into rock climbing, some of the ways that I feel like it's been beneficial to me, and maybe you can make a decision for yourself about whether or not it's something that you want to try, which I absolutely think that anybody is capable of doing it. I used to think that it was a sport that was just completely like out of the realm of possibility for me. I hope that I inspire someone to try rock climbing or whatever it is that is scary to you. I think life is too short not to allow ourselves to try new things, because you never know what that thing is that's going to end up changing your life. Things out there that we might end up really loving, and we hold ourselves back when we don't try things because we think that we're not capable of doing them. I've never been super sporty or really outdoorsy at all. I mean, my parents took me hiking and camping a little bit when I was younger, and I had done a little bit of it here and there. I was a cheerleader when I was in junior high, and that's probably like the most extreme that I've been with any type of sport. I've never really been a super competitive person, so I just kind of thought that sports weren't for me. I was like the drama choir nerdy kid. I met several people who were into rock climbing throughout my life. Never really thought of it as something that I would be able to do. Seeming like extremely hard, like you need a lot of strength for it, and I was scared and embarrassed to potentially try something that I was gonna most likely fail at. I knew about rock climbing for years before I ever even tried it. After college, I actually lived in Colorado, which is like, there's tons of rock climbing there. I had a lot of friends who were super outdoorsy. They went backpacking, they went skiing, they went snowboarding, they went rock climbing, they hiked 14ers. And it's not even that I wasn't interested, I just felt like I wasn't capable of doing it, if that makes sense. I had some friends who invited me to go and hike Conundrum, one of my bucket list hikes. My roommates at the time invited me, and I wasn't really exercising at the time, and I was like, oh, like I don't think I could do that. I don't feel like I have the fitness level for it. I probably hold you back. I've always wanted to do the Royal Arch and the Flatirons, but I was scared of the rock scramble at the end. So those kinds of things really held me back and like limited me and what I could do. And it was literally just me, like my limiting belief. I felt like I wasn't strong enough, wasn't capable enough to do those things. And yeah, with my fitness level, like not exactly where it needed to be to like perform at my best doing those types of things, sure. But like, I think if I had pushed myself back then, I would have seen that I was fully capable of doing those things. I was at my heaviest weight ever when I started rock climbing, and that didn't stop me from being able to push past my fear of not doing well, and I loved it enough to where I wanted to keep going back every single week. That right there just proves to me that I was capable of doing those things all along. I started rock climbing last year in January. My friends, Charlie and Rachel, I was visiting them. They were members at a rock climbing gym there, and they were like, oh, we're gonna go to the rock climbing gym, and I was really nervous. I felt like I wasn't gonna do well. I was fully prepared to hate it and then just go like run on the treadmill like while they did their rock climbing. I'm not gonna lie, it was definitely pretty challenging. We went to the tall wall in their gym first. I tried to climb a 5-6. I only got like halfway up it before my arms were really tired. That was a little discouraging, but then we went upstairs and I was able to climb a shorter 5-5. Anybody who's rock climbed for the first time knows that like it uses muscles that you have never used in your life before, probably. I felt accomplished. As soon as I got home, I wanted to take my dad to the local climbing gym and start climbing with him. And I pretty much signed up for a membership like that same day, even though I was only able to like climb like a 5-6. But I was able to climb a 5-6 the second time that I went climbing. So I was progressing like every single time that I went into the gym, and I could see that progress happening. And that happens all the time now. The progress is like slower or like less obvious because it might be like, oh, I figure out a new move or like a new way of moving my body on the wall. I learned to lead climb a couple of months ago, and I've been lead climbing in the gym and trying to like get more into climbing outside, which I've only done like about 5 times. That's a whole new challenge for me because I'm having to learn where my good rest spots are. I have to clip myself into the wall. I can't just like sit there and hang on the rope. Working through like the fear. Top roping was definitely a lot less scary. I've always been pretty scared of bouldering just because I'm afraid of falling and like spraining my ankle, which I've seen happen to a lot of people, and I feel like that's like a little more natural of a fear, which I am working through very slowly. I know that I'm capable of doing harder stuff, and so when I do go bouldering, which is not very often, I do find that I'm able to send a lot more than I used to, even if I don't spend a whole lot of time in there. It can also be very mentally tough at times. Last weekend, for example, I went climbing with the queer climbers group that I'm a part of, and I had been to this particular climbing spot 3 times, and this was like my 5th time climbing outdoors ever. And the first time that I climbed outdoors, it was just on top rope, and the second time was during a lead class, and I had just climbed a 5-6 on lead, like my first time ever. And then I didn't lead climb again for months because it was summer in Arkansas and it was hot and buggy, and I don't love bugs. I figured out this 5-7 that they have there. I've climbed it clean on lead twice now. This past weekend, I climbed the 5-7 as my first route, like my warm-up route of the day, and it felt really good to feel like I've dialed in the moves and I was feeling really strong. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna try and lead this 5-8 that's over here, which I had climbed on top rope twice, but I hadn't cleaned it on top rope, and I hadn't quite like dialed in the moves yet. But I was thinking, okay, like if I have to go clip to clip, that's fine. I almost finished the route, and it's really short. It's like a 20-foot route. I was at the 4th clip. The only thing I would have to do left after that was the anchors, literally like trying to clip it. And my girlfriend, who was belaying me, she gave out a lot of slack because she thought that I didn't have enough rope, didn't realize that I was just tired and I didn't have a good position, and I was just like panicking a little bit. Luckily, when I called falling, she had enough time to be able to take enough of the slack out, and she gave me a super soft catch. I feel terrible. She got major rope burn from catching me. I'm fine. We're both fine. It was truly one of my first times having like a true proper like larger lead fall. I came basically all the way back down and had to restart the climb, which I did. I did get back on the wall. That section between the 3rd and the 4th clip, which is the section that I've like been struggling with more because real rock outside is so much different from climbing inside. Like you don't have like nice neat jugs to hold on to. I started panicking and I was tired and I couldn't finish it. I did end up climbing it again on top rope, and I was feeling pretty hard on myself. The tears were coming to my eyes and I was trying to hold it back. I didn't want to cry over that because I want to be able to push past these fears, and like I do this because I like it. Sometimes our self-talk wins for just a moment, but I was able to get over it, and now I feel really proud of myself because I climbed it all the way to the 3rd clip without needing to take or rest on the rope, for anyone that doesn't know climbing terminology. And I figured out some movement that I hadn't figured out before. So I am going to take a little break from working on that one. The next climbing trip that I'm doing is in a completely different area, so I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, what I can accomplish when I'm there. We're going to be there for 3 days, so we'll have a lot of opportunity to try different things, climb different things. I'm looking forward to seeing what other routes out there that might be more my style, and just get my confidence levels up and know that it's okay for me to not be doing as well as I am when I'm in the gym, because gym climbing is completely different from outdoor climbing. I've only done lead climbing like 10 times total, which is including like the times in the gym that I've been working on it. So I have to remember to give myself grace, even though it's really hard. You know, I want to encourage anyone out there that might be watching this that has a hard time giving themselves grace when they don't reach the grade that they like think that they should be able to climb, feeling bad about themselves or comparing themselves to other people in the gym, because it's such an individual experience. That's what I love about climbing. It's not very competitive at all. Even the competitive climbing in the Olympics, they're all working together to like figure out the problem beforehand. And I think that's like one of the coolest things about it. Overcoming the mental challenge of like thinking that I can't do something and then actually being able to do it has been huge for my mental health. Like, I believe in myself so much more than I ever have. I feel like I'm capable of doing anything. My self-esteem has been improved. One example of one way that it's impacted my life outside of actual climbing. When I was younger, I learned how to ride a bike. School was telling us that we could get kidnapped if we rode our bikes. I had a weird experience where I felt like I was about to be kidnapped. I don't really know what happened. I haven't ridden a bike since then. And there have been numerous times in my life, ex-boyfriends that have tried to teach me, friends have tried to teach me how to ride a bike, and my parents have tried to teach me how to ride a bike. So terrifying for me every time. I had no trust in myself. I had no trust in the wheels. Over the past year and a half of rock climbing, I've gained so much belief in myself, and I've gained so much self-esteem that I felt like I can do this. And I came across an adult bike riding class. When we first started, I was really nervous and I didn't feel like I was doing a good job, but by the time the class ended, I was just riding a bike. And since then, I've been able to just ride around the neighborhood, and I want to be able to push myself to start riding on the trails and maybe even one day do some easy mountain biking trails. I always just felt like, oh my gosh, you're so stupid. You can't ride a bike. They always say, you never forget, and how could you forget? And those are the kinds of things that I would say to myself. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes those thoughts do creep in a little bit. That's why I'm grateful that I still have therapy. Positive self-talk helps me to be able to do more of the sport that I love. I'm super grateful to my friends for introducing me to the sport. I can't even believe that a year and a half ago I was so terrified to even go to the gym. And since then, I've introduced the sport to several new people because I want it to bring joy to their lives, and it's always amazing to see when someone really gets super into it. If it was powerful for me, then it can be powerful for other people too. Not just rock climbing, but anything that you might find challenging that you've thought that you always wanted to do. I want to encourage anyone to just go out there and do that thing. I have so many things on my list that I wish that I would have done all those years ago. I want to climb a 14er. I want to do mountain biking. I want to learn to ski. I want to do kayaking. I want to do all these things that I feel have scared me. One of the things that I want to do with this YouTube channel is document my experiences trying new things, because I feel like there are a lot of people out there like me. Maybe you're where I'm at right now. Maybe you were where I'm at right now 5 years ago, and now you've overcome all of these challenges. Maybe me 5 years ago is you right now. Maybe you're at the beginning of your journey and you don't think that you can do anything hard. And I want to inspire you to try new things, try things that scare you, because it's been life-changing for me. And obviously, I'm still in therapy. I'm probably gonna always be in therapy. Rock climbing has made a huge impact on my life. I can't wait to see how the other things that I end up trying impact me. The journey is just beginning for me. I want everyone to know that you can do these things. You don't have to already be super athletic to be able to try something. You can push the boundaries of your limiting beliefs. You can overcome hard challenges and do things that you never thought you were even capable of. I hope that you got something out of this little video that I made about my journey with rock climbing. Please like this video and subscribe, and hopefully come back to see what other adventures I get up to, because I have a lot of things that I want to do. I have a lot of things on my bucket list. So I look forward to sharing them with you.